A lot of people around Montana joke about the town Bozeman by calling it BozeAngeles. Well, there's a reason it got the name BozeAngeles, and in this video, we're going to show you the explosive growth that they've had there and the very complicated issues that have arisen from all this growth. You won't believe what I'm going to show you at the end of this video. Let's go check out Bozeman. All right, so I climbed all the way up this mountain to give you a better view of Montana. So the least you can do is subscribe to our channel. And when you do, don't forget to hit the little bell and you'll be notified every time we make a new video about Montana. So as we come into Bozeman on Interstate 90, you'll see that it's just a beautiful valley, totally surrounded by mountains. But if we look at a map here, Bozeman is located kind of in the middle of the state. It is 200 miles from Missoula and about 140 miles from Billings. And it's pretty close to Yellowstone Park. If you take the Highway 191 down through Big Sky, it's 89 miles to West Yellowstone. And if you notice over here to the east, you'll see the little town of Livingston. There's actually a pass you have to go over to get there. We talked about that in the video about Livingston. But then south of there on this Highway 89, that's the Paradise Valley. And it's a beautiful, beautiful area. That's where the show Yellowstone is supposedly based, even though they didn't film it there. But then you can get down into Yellowstone that way too. You come out in a town called Gardner and then south into Wyoming into Yellowstone Park. So once you get off the interstate, you'll almost immediately notice the growth around Bozeman. There's kind of new construction going on all over, whether they're apartment buildings or new commercial buildings, whatever it is. And this, will lead to the big issues that we'll talk about later in the video. But Bozeman's population growth has been unbelievable. It's in the last 5 years, there's almost been 10,000 people that have moved to Bozeman, which is a 20% increase. And then in Belgrade, which is right down the road, that's kind of gotten the overflow from the people that can't afford Bozeman. They've also had almost 10,000 people move there in the last 5 years, and that's a 40% growth rate. And in 2022, Bozeman was the number 12 most moved to city in America. But between 2010 and 2020, this is an unbelievable stat, Bozeman grew by 40.3%, and it made it the fastest growing city in America. And that's where the whole BozeAngeles term came from, along with the big issues we'll talk about later in the video. But right now, the current population of Bozeman is just under 59,000. And again, for any city, the growth that they've had over the past 10 or 15 years has just been unbelievable, especially here in Montana. So Bozeman has a big regional hospital here, and that's one of the benefits of living here in Bozeman. And obviously they had to expand everything due to the growth of town. And then up here on the north side of town, you have Montana State University, which is the largest employer in Bozeman. It has 5,000 employees, and there's 16,700 students that go here. And part of the draw for Bozeman is this school. And because of the school and because of all the students coming out of here, a lot of tech companies have moved to Bozeman to add to the growth. You have Oracle there and tons of other smaller companies. And Bozeman has 2 high schools now. This is the original one. This is Bozeman High, and it has 1,200 students at this school. And then this is the brand new one, and this is kind of amazing. This is Gallatin High, and it has 1,480 students currently. But the unbelievable part of this school is that it costs $93 million to build. So this is quite the school here in Bozeman, and it just kind of shows you the amount of money coming into Bozeman and the amount of growth to be able to afford a school of this size. And speaking of money, when you get to the downtown area, downtown has really changed since the first time I was there, but it's all, modernized and new fancy stores, and everything's being updated. And, a lot of people a lot of the locals and people that have been around Montana for a long time are kind of bummed out by all of this because, my wife went to college there in Bozeman for a while, and it used to be the cowboy town and kind of the old west, and you still kind of get that feel. But as you can see, as we tour the downtown area, there's been a lot of updates, a lot of new fancy restaurants gone in, a lot of new stores that have gone in, and even the Rockin' R bar, which the first time I went there, it was this, I don't know if you've been to Kalispell and been to Moose's, it was kind of like that, kind of the old school, old west kind of bar, kind of dive bar. And now it's been completely gentrified and has marble countertops, and it's just not the same. And that's where you get a lot of the locals complaining or, missing the old days here in Bozeman. And that brings us to the real estate prices here in Bozeman, and that's the most amazing part of all of this growth. Back in 2009, the median home price in Bozeman was $270,000, and right now it's $879,000. And back to the big issue we're going to get to in a minute, the average person just cannot afford on a normal wage the prices now. So I did what a house payment would be. So back in 2009, if you bought a house for $270,000 and the interest rates back then were about 5%, that would have made your payment about $1,900 a month. Now, with the interest rates at 6.5%, an $879,000 house, your monthly payment, and this is without your insurance and everything else, this is just off of the price, your payment would be $6,297 a month. So currently on the market, the cheapest place in all of Bozeman is $575,000 for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,300 square foot house, and that goes all the way up to $15.9 million for the most expensive place on the market, and that's a 4-bedroom, 6-bathroom, 8,000 square foot house that's on 146 acres outside of town. And if you go a little further out of town, you can find a $78.9 million house that's on 1,940 acres. And this brings us to the big dilemma that Bozeman now has, and it's just unbelievable that this is going on here in Bozeman or anywhere in Montana, but because the prices have gone so high so quickly, the workers can't afford to live there. Even the rents have gone through the roof. So people are camping on the streets. They're setting up campers and they're living here on these, empty streets around Bozeman. They've passed laws that, they can't be near schools and they can't be, right in front of somebody's house. But all these areas that are, newer subdivisions or areas that they haven't really built on yet, people are parking their campers, and it's just turned into quite a issue, quite a dilemma. And if any of you guys have the answer, I'm not sure what it is, because what do? You can't tell people that own land that you have to sell it to the city for cheap so we can build housing for all these people. And like I said, with the median home price over $800,000, there's very few jobs that pay that kind of money. So we're getting all these people, hence again, BozeAngeles, moving up here from California, buying up all these houses and jacking up the prices, and it's turned into this. So again, it's just hard to even imagine this going on in Montana, but here it is. I took these videos off of a PBS show that they did on Bozeman. I did drive around those neighborhoods myself, or those areas myself, and it's just incredible to see that this is happening here in Montana. And again, if any of you guys have the answer, I'm not sure what it is, and Bozeman's been struggling with it, and we'll see what happens.
Thank you for watching our video. Please call, text, or email for more information, and don't forget to watch our other videos about Montana.